Hello, everybody. My name is Valentin Dashenko. My major was in engineering, specifically chemical engineering, and I studied at Ryerson. So, why did I choose this career? I chose the career in specifically engineering because I was good at mathematics. I was always good at physics, but also I have a memory from childhood where I was helping a friend actually put together a toy that was like robotic and had a little controller to it. I took the time and I kind of was able to like interpret the instructions and improvise a little bit and try several different combinations of things until we were able to actually put it together properly. There was a lot of joy when that happened, and I have a very distinct kind of memory of that. And then I remember his grandparents actually said that, oh, this is Alex's son, so therefore he's also going to be an engineer in the future, and that really kind of sparked my interest towards this subject. Um, so my father is also an engineer, a different kind of engineer. However, he is more of a mechanical slash aerospace specialty engineer. I am more on the thermal fluids side, so I'm a chemical engineer. Um, and that was kind of pretty motivational. Frankly, in Canada, I would not recommend people to pursue engineering as much. The reason is because it's a very saturated field. Even though yes, there's a big focus on STEM and people being well educated using science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. However, based on my own experience and based on experience of many of my colleagues, engineering is a very much saturated field in Canada. Not so much outside of it, but in Canada it is. And due to a large amount of immigration, there's a large amount of competition, where basically engineers kind of fall out of the sky. Literally, they come to the Pearson Airport, and then you're competing in a pool of very highly qualified candidates, and many of them are often more experienced than you are, and they're willing to take a pay cut, right? So they're willing to work for less money than what is usually paid to an average engineer in Canada. And for some reason, this is widely accepted in industry lately, and that is why they get the leg up over you, because the company basically pays them to do the job of an engineer for a discounted rate, right? Whereas any graduate that graduated here paid the fees to the association, paid the tuition fees required to get this degree, put in the time and the effort, but the payback is not quite there anymore. I would, however, recommend people going towards more of a technical field related to the current demand of industries, which is more towards software engineering. Yes, it's also type of engineering that deals with computer programming, um, and that's why computer science or software engineering or computer engineering even deals kind of, that's the intersection between hardware and software. That is where the future is headed towards. It's still good to major in engineering, but know the type of engineering that is in demand right now. Yes, absolutely. I think it's really important to have a mentor, even several mentors, in fact. I think there's a huge, value in having somebody who's done what you want to do, or even better, who is at a certain point where you want to get to. So, at a certain occupation or profession, or at a certain position in a company or an organization. Doesn't have to be, maybe he's a founder, where you want to end up. It's really good to approach them and try to befriend them, and not only befriend them, but try to get their mentorship. Try to work with them so that they're able to coach you and to give you the inside scoop on how to get to where they've gotten. That's going to save you a lot of time, effort, and resources in the long run. Again, so this is a great question. If I had the chance to go back to high school, I would definitely, listen to the advice of not only the online information that was able to find back then. Keep in mind, I graduated high school in 2013, so when I was doing university research, this was 2012, and things were quite different back then. There were still like online resources, but not nearly. not nearly as much as there is now, 8 years later. I would listen to my father's advice because he was in the engineering industry. He's currently in the aerospace industry, more specifically. And, he's been in several other industries as well before. And one of the most employable types of engineers are electrical engineers and computer engineers, more specifically electrical because it's a broader field. And I probably would have chosen electrical because when I started university in an undeclared major, and I had the choice of doing any major I really wanted to. I chose chemical because I thought at the time that it was very employable, very high in regard, and very specialized, which was a good thing. But practice and practicality always showed me otherwise. Being specializing early on is not always the best thing when it comes to engineering. You want to specialize gradually, and you want to keep as many doors open as possibly you can. I think this was a great informational interview. I really hope that some of my advice, the message that I want you to take away is it's important to choose a major where you are truly engaged and you truly believe that what you study and what you do matters, even if you don't end up pursuing it in the long run. It's not the worst thing. Currently, actually, I'm not really working in engineering. I'm actually moving towards the tech space, more specifically cybersecurity space. Cybersecurity, if you may, engineering, not really engineering, more like cybersecurity and networking analysis. But again, so it's never too late to kind of change your career path. And yes, a lot of the skills that you will learn in university will help you long term. You probably won't use a lot of the things you've learned, to be frank with you, but it's still helpful. And I think that the most important takeaway from this is don't have any regret in your heart, because know that at some point in time, it was exactly, you made a decision based on exactly what you knew and what you had available to you. And you made the right decision in reference to that point in time. With that thought, never regret anything, you know, because everything happens for a reason. Thank you so much, guys.